Both SLB Drinks and Fred Minnick predicted in their 2024 outlook that bourbon prices will fall significantly in 2024. I, as a certified management accountant and working in the financial industry for 20 years, did analysis on the bourbon industry and the prices as a whole. And I'll let you know my predictions for 2024 coming right up. Welcome to Whiskey Week. My name is David. And here I have some fantastic whiskey in this class. What's in it? Well, stay tuned till the end and I will let you know what's going on. It's actually very interesting to find out that a lot of the big whiskey tubers have all predicting a very big slowdown in bourbon prices in 2024. SLB Drinks and Fred Minnick I just mentioned, but even like Mash and Drum, Bourbon Pursuit, and many others are predicting a pretty big slowdown in prices in 2024. So that got me curious. And as a CMA and working in the financial industry for over 20 years as a credit analyst, I got very, very curious. And so I did basic analysis of the bourbon industry and bourbon prices in general. Basically, I did a SWOT analysis. So I'm going to give you a couple of reasons that bourbon prices will decrease. I'm going to also give you a couple of reasons that bourbon prices won't decrease. And then I'll give you my final prediction and what I think is going to happen in 2024. So first, a couple of reasons that bourbon prices will decrease in 2024. Number one, other choices and increased competition. So even Trenton from SLB Drinks, he mentions that he's gonna venture out into other spirits in 2024. AP rum, tequila, single malts, etc., etc. And it feels like a lot of the bourbon enthusiasts are venturing into, especially tequila, but even rum and other spirits. Even me. I'm slowly kind of, dipping my toes in the single malt world. And I think it's a natural progression just to people like SLB Drinks. They had it all. They had all the VTECs. They had most of the allocated bottles in the last couple of years. So it's kind of natural for them to be curious about other spirits because they had it all. And so I think you're seeing a lot of people either because they had it all or because they can't get any of the allocated, just venturing into other spirits that they can get the good stuff without having to fight about it. So I think that's going to be a very big factor in prices coming down, or I guess demand coming down in 2024. And again, I mentioned increased competition. So a lot of the really smaller brands or smaller distilleries are really coming on strong, especially in 2023. Redwood Empire did really well. 13 Colony obviously killed it. But you're looking at like ASW, Still Austin, even 2XO or Old Carter, Four Gates. I mean, these guys are doing absolutely great and they're really competing with the giants in the bourbon world. And when there's so many good brands and so many good whiskeys out there, well, you have a lot of choices. One of the only things that you could do to compete is to bring the prices down. So that's another reason that prices can come down in 2024. Reason number two that prices will decrease in 2024, well, they're already decreasing in 2023. So SLB Drinks mentioned, and the reason I keep on bringing them up is pretty sure a lot of you guys already saw that video, so it's easier to reference that when you guys already saw it. So Trenton mentioned that the secondary market or the auction sites like Stag Juniors or Stags, they come down from what used to be over 300 a couple of years ago or a couple months ago even to now less than 200. Well, a Foolproof, same thing, over 300 to less than 200 now. And a lot of other examples, even for me, like for instance, like Peerless. So I went to Total Wine & More and this is the picture. The small batch was $60-something and the single barrel was a little over 80. That used to be 80 and over 100 respectively even a couple months ago. So you're seeing a 25% decrease in Peerless prices. Again, you're seeing huge decreases, 33% decreases in the secondary market on some of these allocated bottles. So they're thinking, well, if that trend continues and it decreases another 25-30% in 2024, well, that will be, I guess, a welcoming trend for a lot of us. And number three, and this kind of ties into number one a little bit, is that people are really sick of just hunting for these allocated and solid after bottles. And at first, especially during COVID, during 2021 or 2022, when you didn't have anything else to do, a was a lot of fun searching out these allocated whiskeys, seeing all these new people, kind of getting into these new groups, and et cetera, et cetera. And again, since you had nothing else to do, might as well just wait in front of the liquor store, or try to visit 10 places to try to find out one really good whiskeys. But now, there's other things to do. You can go to the beach, you can go to the mountains, you could hang out with friends. They don't want to wait in line. They don't want to build relationships that don't pay off. They don't want to buy bundles with, Fireball and vodka and tequila they don't drink. And so it's becoming, a lot of people are just getting sick of that, are just tired of playing the game. The increase in not only availability, but also the choices of good whiskeys now, especially bourbons. People are like, I'll just drink the Redwood Empire Lost Monarch cask strength instead of waiting 2 hours in line in the freezing cold waiting for a stag. Yes, is stag better? Of course. But is it worth waiting in line for 2 hours when you have a bad back? Probably not. So I think those are the 3 reasons that prices will decrease in 2024. If you're enjoying this content, please push that like button because it really helps me out. If you haven't subscribed, please do so because it's gonna really help me make a couple more cents. And you know what? Every cent counts. So a couple of reasons that prices will not decrease in 2024. Number 1, distilleries are gonna keep on doing special edition or limited release bourbons and whiskeys. So poster boy in 2023 for this was Wild Turkey, right? Generations at $450, Single Rickhouse at over $300, Russell's Reserve 13 going up to $150, even their Master's Keep Voyage at $250. And everybody, when they heard that, said they can't buy it. I'm done with Wild Turkey. But you know what? It all sold out. And the worst part, Single Rickhouse, Camp Nelson Half, University, one of the best whiskeys of 2023. I think it won a couple of number 1s, and I think it was in the top 3 of a lot of the big whiskey YouTubers who had a chance to get it. I didn't. Even Generations. People absolutely love it. They don't like the price, they always say that, but they absolutely love the bottle. So if they keep making that kind of good stuff, it's gonna come at 200, 300, 400. If it keeps selling out, if you guys keep buying, I guess I didn't buy any of those, but if I keep buying all these special releases, they're gonna keep releasing those. Imagine like Jack 10, Jack 12, Jack 15 and 18 is supposed to come out. If Jack 15 comes out at 150, they're gonna sell out in seconds. Jack 18 at 200, it's gonna sell out in seconds. We're hoping it's 150, 200. It could be 200, 300. I'm pretty sure it's still gonna sell out. So distilleries are gonna focus on that because that's where the profit margin is. And I think that trend will continue and actually grow a lot in 2024. That's damn good whiskey. All right, number 2 reason prices will not decrease in 2024, international opportunities. Remember, bourbons have plenty of demand currently just inside the US. They never really needed to export. They can't even keep up with all the demand here in the US, right? Even the regular Buffalo Trace was allocated as of last couple of months ago. They just couldn't keep enough on the shelves. The world is an untapped market for many of the distilleries. Remember, I went to Korea in November and my friend was like, hey, can you bring me a bottle of Stag? All right. Well, it's gonna cost you like $200 because I only have a couple of days before I go and there's no other deals. And he's like, oh, that's a great deal. I was like, what? He told me that a bottle of Stag in Korea is usually $400, $500, $600 depending on the batch and time of the year because they don't sell it there. And it's like that with a lot of other places like China and Japan. So imagine this. Imagine if Buffalo Trace said, hey, we have Blanton sitting on the shelves now in the US. We're gonna market and export internationally. So let's say they take 20% of Blanton supplies and put it and export it to Europe, 20% to Asia, and 10% all other, to other parts of the world, Mexico, Australia, Africa, South America, etc. That'll be a combined 50% of the Blanton supplies exported out of the US. That means if you're having a hard time finding blends now, imagine if 50% of the supply was just gone. Good luck. And that just blends. Eagle Rare, Buffalo Trace, VTAX, Pappy's. It would cause a havoc and a ruckus among the US bourbon enthusiasts because we couldn't find it here anymore. just like 2021. And so it's a huge opportunity because the world has 7 billion people compared to 300 million people here in the US. And I forgot, what's the mystery bottle? Joseph A. Magnus Morehill Club. I mentioned this bottle a lot in 2023. There was a couple of comments saying that they're going to buy this bottle because I mentioned it so much and how much I've endorsed it. And so I had to come back to it just to make sure that I absolutely love this bottle, and I absolutely do. So with all that combined, what's my final prediction for 2024? Well, it's a two-part prediction. First, the tier 1 or the most allocated or sought after bottles like VTech or Pappy's, they're not going to come down in pricing. I just think there's just a staple of collectability and just so many people wanting a bottle that I just don't think that's going to come down. But I think the bourbon market overall, the prices will come down, especially in the $200 to $250 saturated market. So even anything over 100, I think will come down 25% to even 40% in 2024. The reason? Just too many options. Just like, for instance, again, Old Carter is a great example. I love it. I bought my bottle at $220. I think it's a fantastic bottle. But they're coming up with like 4 to 6 batches a year. Their bourbons, their Kentucky straight whiskeys, their American whiskeys, their ryes. You see Four Gates come up with all this other stuff. Again, Jim of Kentucky's coming out. I mean, it just so many choices that you can only buy a couple of them per year, right? Most people drink maybe a bottle a month. Somebody like me who drinks a little bit more, probably 2 or 3 bottles a month, maybe more. But you know, we're not drinking 6, 7 bottles a month, especially $200 ones. So when the market's that saturated, the only other way to sell it is to lower the prices. So same thing with Bookers. People are getting tired of buying 4 Bookers at $100 a pop, especially when some of the batches are subpar, to say the least. So I think a lot of those are going to come down, and I think it's going to be a lot of good competition coming in. So yeah, overall prices will come down. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen to the bourbon industry in 2024. Do you think the prices will come down, or do you think the prices will increase? Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time.